Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how we can bake our hair in our scalp, and that's going to help with especially with the bald spots. I want to mention that for this I'm going to use Blender and Marmoset for the baking, but I believe you can do the baking in Blender too. The only thing is I'm not sure how to do it, and sometimes when I try to bake stuff it takes a long time, and with Marmoset I have to say that the bakes are super fast. Probably you can do it with Substance Painter as well. So yeah, let's get started. The first thing that we're gonna need is an add-on that is free. It's called Textool. You have it here. And if you scroll down here, you can download it, and then it's going to take you to the GitHub. And from here, you can download the add-on. And as per usual in Blender, you're going to go to Preferences, you're going to go to Add-ons, and you're going to click Install, look for your file. Here, Downloads. Textools, then click install. I'm not gonna do it because I already did, and it should appear here, and then you are gonna check it to activate it. And this add-on, we only need it for one thing. I think it does a lot of really cool stuff, but so far I didn't experiment it too much, so I'm gonna show you what we want to do. So here, what I want to do is we are gonna grab the scalp, and before we go any further, I'm gonna create another. I'm gonna save as, and I'm gonna save it as male head bake. So save. And what I want to do is first of all, before doing anything else, I'm gonna we need to convert these to meshes because right now they are curves, and curves don't bake. So I'm gonna be changing a couple of things here. So the first thing is gonna be the density. And actually we can change the radius already here. Yeah, maybe that's too much, but let's try something like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna add more. So on the interpolation, the density, and we can go here, go a little bit crazy. And let me do this. I'm gonna change the preview to random, so we can see how is our density. Our density is still a little bit, we can still see the scalp. So I'm gonna crank it up, set hair density, let's try 50. Okay, yeah, that's much better. Same here. We can remove that group, we don't need it. So let's change the radius. We set 0, 2. And then let's crank it up. Interpolation, it's okay. And same for the sides. So I think in this case we didn't have the radius, so I'm gonna add it. We didn't add a radius. Interpolate, oh no, it's here, it's here. Okay, I was like, oh, weird, I didn't do that. And then select it again, and interpolation, let's do. Perfect. So now that we have that, let's select everything. I'm gonna convert it to a mesh. We can jump again to the here material. I'm gonna convert it to a mesh. Sorry, I always do that, but it's object, convert, mesh. And here we lose kind of everything we did, but that's okay. I'm gonna join it. So we have our hair here, and then I wonder if I have my geometry nodes here. Generate geometry nodes. Remember, was the resample? I don't have it, no? Resample, no. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click here, I'm gonna say append, and then node 3, resample curve, okay, append. So now I can use my node 3. So here I'm gonna introduce a new variable. So I'm gonna multiply this, and this is math. So this one goes here, and then I want to add a new group here, and I'm gonna call it. This is gonna be an input, and this is gonna be a float, and the name is gonna be thickness, and by default let's do 0.5, and then we can multiply our thickness now for this, and it disappeared because the thickness here is 0, but let's see 0.1. Okay, so that's much better. So now okay, now I can apply this. It's gonna be heavy. I'm sure we are gonna have a ton of vertices here. Maybe let me see if I reduce the number of vertex. Maybe we can optimize it a little bit. Yeah. So we went. That's much better. Okay. So now I'm gonna convert this to mesh. So I'm gonna apply. And now this is, well, I just pressed edit, so you can see all our hairs here. Okay. Next step, it's I need to select my scalp. This one, let me see, we can unparent it. So we have the scalp, and we have. I'm gonna apply the shrink wrap, and what I want to do is jump into the UV editing, and now here on the text tools, if I select, first of all, what I want to do is I'm gonna unwrap it in a different way, so it makes more sense. So, okay, this is our unwrap. Let me try, let's see something. Okay, this is okay. Then here we want to go to mesh UV tools, and I want to create a mesh from the UV. So I know it sounds weird, but that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna create UV mesh. And that's the only purpose of this add-on right now. I'm just using it for this. Here I'm gonna do layout. And here we have our, our mesh, like our new mesh. And next step, it's I'm gonna press scalp here. Actually, I mean, we could even move that. So it's a little bit like, you know, like having a little more sense. Doesn't really matter. but you'll see in a second what we are doing. Then I select my scalp. I'm gonna come to the vertex on the shape keys, and I'm gonna add the base shape key, and then I'm gonna select this one, select again our scalp, come here, and I'm gonna say join as shapes. And that, what does, now this one we can hide it. What does, it's now we can apply the shape key, and you can see how our hair, our scalp is totally flat. Next thing I'm gonna do, it's and that's probably gonna be a little bit heavy on our computer, but let's see, hopefully we can do it. So I'm gonna add a modifier here. Here on deform, we want the surface deform. I'm gonna select the scalp. I'm gonna change this 4 to 16, the maximum, and then I'm gonna say bind. Probably it's gonna take a little second, and now the magic happens. If I click scalp and I come here and I assign 1, our hair, it's deforming with our scalp. So now we are ready for baking. Here we have a little bit, I think, because of the you know, like the deformer, it's deforming our hair in a little bit, like it's getting a little bit like too like polygonal. I'm gonna save just in case, and I'm gonna try to add a sub modifier. This is gonna be very heavy because we are at 2 million. So if I subdivide that, maybe it's gonna crash. But let's see what happens. And I'm gonna do probably just apply, so the computer is like has less computation to do, and then I'm gonna apply. I'm gonna add the subdivision. Well, looks like it did it faster than I thought. So now I'm gonna export the scalp. Export FBX, and I'm gonna export it as hair low poly. Well, I don't know. Actually, let me remove this. Delete, because that's not really the hair, that's like the scalp. So this is a scalp low poly, export, and now I'm gonna export this. Export ABX scalp high poly. That's gonna take a little second, because when you export, like, you can see that we have almost 8 million triangles. But I'm surprised that it's working pretty fast. So now we are ready to do the baking. I'm gonna go into Marmoset. And Marmoset, I know it's not a free program, you have to buy it, but again, I know you can bake stuff in Blender, so you can look for maybe a tutorial that teaches how to do the baking in Blender. I tried before to bake some stuff and it's pretty slow. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, I'm not sure, but yeah, baking in Marmoset, it's very, very, very fast. So so I want to show you here. We have the high poly. So the high poly is our hair, and usually the high poly should have like a default material. Let me put a color so I see. And then the low poly it's just our scalp. I'm just gonna bake it, and then here I can choose the quality. Right now we are at 2K, but we could do a 4K to have more like resolution. Scalp, and then I always like to preview what I have been baking. I do the normals. So let's see. It looks like something is not good, but let's add the rest of the maps that I like to preview: the ambient occlusion, the curvature, and lastly, and probably the most important one, it's the alpha. So thickness, alpha mask, open. So here I'm seeing like some kind of like weird artifacts. This part looks very good. Well, actually, let's see if we can fix it. Bake. Here I'm looking at the cage, because the cage is, if I reduce the cage, for example, to 1, everything that is above the cage is gonna get cut or missed. So just to show you, see, you can see how like bad that's looking. So let's see, if we do if I do 10 and I bake again, I think that's looking better. We can go back to our model. Here, open recent, it's male head 02. And because I set already, I think I set already the material. Let me see. Yeah. So this is the test I ran before, but let's update the image. So this one should be alpha mask. Let me. Oh, I cannot. Yeah, it's hard to see to the preview. Let me just do something here. If I do remove that, remove this. Just want to check the. Oh, okay, I can see here. So, yeah, what we could do to fix this, and this is extra. I mean, again, we can here spend so much time just fixing and refining stuff. I'm gonna open very quick on Photoshop, and I'm gonna work on a little bit of a couple of things that I don't like. So what I want to do, I like the sides, but in the middle of the hair, what we can do is just we can just opacity 100. So making sure that here it's totally opaque, we don't have any transparency, because that's going to help us with when we put all together, it's going to look much better. And now that we are here, I'm going to fix these issues, because here what happened is the projection, the baking, it's running out of scalp geometry, so that's why it's cutting this way. So what we can do is I can reverse, and now I can work on the transition, so it's not that aggressive. And then we can reduce the opacity a little bit, so I'm not, here I'm just like helping with the transition. Okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna save. Okay, and then we can go back to Blender, and let's update, and we'll see how all of this should be fixed now. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, it's I'm gonna work a little bit here because I want to like give more, not so much transparency. So right now our hair it's at 88,000. It's I mean it's a lot. It's a lot. I was gonna say, well, maybe if you have, but no, it's a lot. So a quick way that we can improve or optimize that, it's very easy. We can come here and I think decimate. A 10th part of 1, it's 0.1. So now the optimization is pretty aggressive, but you can see, I mean, yeah, the hair looks a little bit, here looks a little bit not that good, but I mean, if you want something very aggressive, you can leave it like that, but let's be a little bit more like, I mean, that would be 17,000 for a character that you're not gonna do close-ups. I think that's good enough, because in game the character is gonna be at this distance, so you don't really see anything. But that's up to you. You can play with that number and do it. If you are gonna do close-ups, maybe you want to do like, I don't know, like 0.5. Then your hair is looking better. The next videos are gonna be about using the hair tool. So you can, it's a mix of that process, and then instead of using, you know, instead of doing the manual conversion to the hair cards, we're going to be using the hair tool. That it's for me one of the best add-ons for Blender for characters. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully that was helpful. It took a little bit longer than I expected, but I hope you learned something and you got some tips here. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye bye.